All right, let's get to it. So welcome, good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining us today for our session, Maximize Affiliate Impact, how to diversify your partners across the customer journey. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get started into today's session. If you have any questions throughout the session, please write them into the questions field and we'll take time at the end for answers. The webinar is being recorded and we will send it to all registrants within 24 hours of the session ending. And feel free to download any resources in the Zoom interface as the session goes on. We'll talk about a few that you can access in the kind of chat panel. And then join in our poll during the presentation. This gives us a lot more insights into who's on the call and where you're at in your affiliate journey, so we can tailor the conversation and examples to where most of the audience is and where they are going. So my name is Melissa Weir. I'm the Director of Demand Generation here at Reversion by Fantastic. And my goal is to bring you programming like this to help educate and scale your programs. So I'm thrilled to have Eugenia with us here today. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm the Publisher Account Director at Reversion. I basically have been in the industry for over 7 years, talking to publishers all day, every day. So excited to be talking to you about some strategies and working with them.
Eugenia has a wealth of knowledge. I have learned a lot through putting this together with her. So thrilled to have you here. So a little bit about Reversion. If you're new to us, I'll give you some insights before we get into the session. But Reversion recognizes that it's really complex to build, manage, and track an affiliate program. And so with Reversion, we simplify what that means to actually manage and track so that you can manage all of those key components within one platform, from campaigns and management to advanced offer creation and customized commissions, attribution and first-party tracking, to paying your affiliates that you work with, which is very important, getting more data insights on your program, and making sure that you're really aligning your program with your tech stack and other partners that you work with. Reversion powers tracking for every type of affiliate you want to work with, including publishers, creators, influencers, ambassadors, and many more affiliate types that we'll talk about in today's session, and also helps you recruit new partners through our Reversion marketplace. So as you can imagine, managing all of this, all of these key components of your program within one place really helps you to manage your program, certainly, but then drive operational efficiencies, increasing kind of your output. And so you can, do more with less time investment, which helps you to grow your program and really see also what's working and what's not. So you can kind of drill into areas of your program that maybe need a little bit more support and really optimize. And ultimately, all this works together in kind of a flywheel to help you drive more revenue for your program. And here's that growth by the stats. So we work with thousands of merchants, and some of our key stats that we're really proud of and that they are related to today's session is that we have more than 6 million registered affiliates on our marketplace. We track over 300 million affiliate commissions, and we're also tracking over 2 billion affiliate revenue. So the growth is there and in the numbers. And we're trusted by, as I mentioned, thousands of e-commerce brands and online businesses. And we integrate directly with all leading e-commerce platforms. So we'll give you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about Reversion after the session today, but thanks for being here. So today's topics are: what is affiliate diversification and why are we having a session about it? Why should you focus on it and why is it important for your program? We'll talk about common affiliate types and revenue models, and then how to align those types and revenue models across your customer journey for maximum impact. And then how are you going to manage all these people and then, recruit new ideal affiliate partners for each area of your customer journey. And then we'll close out today's session with a live Q&A. So drum roll, please. Our first poll: how is your affiliate program currently managed? So go ahead and fill out that poll. We'll give you a few minutes to do that, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, great. All right, we have a few folks in each bucket, but most of the respondents are dedicated manager or team, when I or others have the time. So that's great. And if you're in any of the other buckets, you'll still get a lot of value out of today's session. All right. So kick us off, Eugenia. What is affiliate diversification and why do you need it?
Of course. Thank you, Melissa. So affiliate diversification is essentially making sure that you have at least one type of partner within your ecosystem, within your affiliate program as well. It helps you really to like understand and reach new audiences. It helps to meet consumers at different stages of their buying journey. You can also get a return on your investment much higher in affiliate programs if you're being more open in terms of working with different partner types versus just working with one partner type. Like I've had brands that want to work with just influencers or just want to work with certain types of publishers. But if they were to open up their program a little bit more and include a different type of partner in their mix, it can really help increase their return on the investment. And also it helps to like mitigate risk from relying on just one type of partner's performance. With the ecosystem and the economic situation that's going on in the world, it's really important to ensure that you're diversifying and working across many different stages at the buying journey.
And it sounds like, it's really about different types of partners, but you can still have that same rigor of making sure that the partner matches your niche, right? So it's not just like any partner, it's like a partner that still matches, but they might serve different purposes. Is that right?
Right, that's correct. So there's different types of like partner types that fit into different, I guess you would call stages. So essentially, if you're trying to protect your brand equity and you don't want to work for a specific like coupon or cashback site, there are higher quality coupon cashback sites that like other brands are working with. And you also want to be where your competition is also being posted up as well.
Right. Well, I think this is a great entrance into our next slide, which is what are all of these affiliate partner types?
Yes, that is perfect. So these are like the top 8. There's definitely more partner types out there, but these are the ones that we most commonly see. And the ones that are more popular nowadays are we're seeing some in content. So within the content partner type is essentially like websites, blogs, like, big like publications such as Condé Nast, Hearst, IGTV, and like all those type of publisher sites would be considered content. So within the loyalty space, they're typically sites that allow you to gain some sort of points or some sort of reward in order for you to get a certain percentage off your next purchase. And this is really important if you're looking for repeat customers, because essentially like they're building that loyalty, they're understanding your product, they're going on a site that is offering them more incentives to come by and come back and buy again. Um, we also have buy now, pay later, which is a pretty interesting partnership. And I think if you're a retail merchant that has a higher price point for your products, you might want to work with a buy now, pay later partner, like for Klarna, for example, where they'll have like a paying for kind of payment method for you, also promote you on their app or on their site, and you get additional traffic like that as well. Of course, coupon and cashback partners are partners that allow some sort of discount to their audience in order to get them to buy. And it can be very important if you're looking for to let some of your inventory gone, or you're looking to like have some sort of sale or anything that's coming up that aligns with those sale dates.
Right. So like it could be a great opportunity for like post holiday. Let's say you have some extra inventory and you want to kind of, refresh your inventory for the next season. That can be a great opportunity to do that.
Exactly. And you can literally let them know like, hey, this is the offer, make it like nice, new, pretty. And these coupon and cashback partners do really good at converting those type of like offers.
Right. All right. And let's talk about how you actually work with those partners. What different types of revenue models are you seeing and what's kind of most popular?
Yes, so I'm actually seeing quite a couple different revenue models as well. These are the 6 most common revenue models that you'll genuinely see when you're working with an affiliate. So what I'm starting to see a shift towards in the industry right now is cost per click. I thought that was also pretty interesting since I'm having conversations with some larger publications. They typically want to get paid out on clicks, and you can also do like a commission cap on it or whatever the case may be. But if you're looking for evergreen content and they don't necessarily want to work with you on flat fee, or you can't like upfront that cost, you might want to work with them on a cost per click basis. We also have the most common one, which is the CPA, which is the cost per acquisition. So an affiliate, they get paid when a conversion takes place. And obviously this is the most preferred method for the merchants, essentially, because they're paying out whenever a conversion has taken place. Lately it hasn't been, it's still popular, but they're moving away from that essentially with some of the partner types, because they want a bit more of upfront investment so that they can continue to promote your products. CPL, which is typically a cost per lead, it's like an affiliate, they get paid when a lead form is filled out. And it's not as popular, essentially because you're filling out lead forms. So mainly like in the insurance and finance basis, you'll start to see a lot of CPL deals. But for the most part, for like retail merchants, you'll mainly see like CPC, CPA, hybrid, and flat fee. So with the hybrid model, which is also very popular in the content space, for those of you that are looking to work with a lot more content, they'll typically ask for a flat fee upfront and then an additional CPA on top of whatever sales that they're able to drive. And that flat fee is just for them to be able to go back to the editors and have them create content centered around your products. So
Kind of
those
like
are like
a service fee. Is that right?
say that one more time.
Oh, sorry. It's kind of like a service fee.
Basically, you can consider it a service fee. It's more of like a guarantee that your content is going to get written. Yeah. And then the CPA afterwards is just to ensure that the content is getting rankings, SEO is being updated over time. So providing that additional layer of the CPA kind of helps you stay top of mind to them.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Our next poll. So what type of affiliates are you currently working with today? We'll give you a minute to fill that out before we kind of talk through how you align all these different partner types and revenue models to your customer journey. All right. So seeing mostly influencers, mostly affiliates. All right. So not a ton of publishers and ambassadors. So that's good to know as we kind of launch into some of these examples. All right. Thanks, everyone. All right, so this is how we're defining, for the sake of today's session, the customer journey. And obviously there's a little bit of nuance in every brand's customer journey, but we broke this out into 3 separate categories. And so we'll define these now for the rest of the conversation, where Eugenia will go through and kind of map different examples to each of these. But the awareness piece is really about that education. Maybe someone's passively looking at a site and they don't know about your product and they learn about it. So that might be the first entry point to learning about your product or brand. Consideration would be where they already have some awareness to your product. Now they're considering buying it, understanding, maybe some of the details, the product details, and looking at some competitor sites about that same product or similar product. And then purchase. Buyer knows that they want to buy it and they're looking for the best deal. And so they're having high intent and seeking out a place to purchase. So hopefully that sets you up well, Eugenia, for the rest of today's conversation, where we start out with awareness.
Oh yeah. So basically awareness, right? So similar to what Melissa's saying, the goal is mainly for education, right? So as a customer, awareness is the stage where I'm saying I have a question, right? So my question is like, what is, high frequency products, or what is high frequency in general? What are the benefits of it? And then, right, I'm going to be researching that, looking through those topics and trying to figure out exactly like what that product is, or what those merchants that offer it is. So you might want to work with like a content site in the beginning, right? A Dotdash Meredith, a Hearst, or a Linkbee, which offers opportunities to work with high quality publishers, essentially where you write high level content that describes exactly what your product is and describes a bit more about like where you're standing in terms of like your business, right? You also might want to work with influencers and ambassadors such as like LTK, ShopStyle, and Mavely. Like those are places where you can kind of provide an elevated CPA, and you can work with some influencers that are going to start showing your product initially for people that are curious about it.
So I'm thinking, like, for myself, right, when I like come across a product, I'm like either scrolling on social media and I maybe don't know a product exists, or maybe I'm reading like an online yeah, publication, like, I know that BuzzFeed, for example, has a lot of kind of like e-commerce driven content. Are those some of the examples where a consumer would come across one of these types of partners?
Exactly. So like I can even go online and say like what's the best skincare, right? And then there'll be an article that talks about like the benefits of like different skincare products and all that. And through those articles, I'm going to start going through the rabbit hole and thinking what's like the best skincare product is for me, right? So that's all within the awareness stage. Is more so like consuming the content and understanding exactly like how it works before you make a buyer's decision.
Right. Great. Yeah, and so I imagine once you do that search of like what the best skincare is for your face, you'd probably start considering which products would be
Exactly.
best for you.
Exactly. So like you learn like, oh my God, I have an oily type face or a dry type face. I'm like, okay, well, what are the top 5 products for oily skin? Right. So now I'm in the consideration phase, right? And the consideration phase to me is like understanding exactly what different types of products are out there that can meet the needs for myself. So you might want to work as a merchant with review sites, right? Or additionally with influencers coupled together. So review sites such as review.com, top 10, or maybe even Deal Moon, these are all sites that will compare all the products you right next to your competitor. And if you know that your product is the best, whether it's price wise, whether it's ingredients wise, or whatever your stance is, you know that you have a higher chance of getting considered for that product and getting that conversion in, right? So the consideration phase is also really important, and it's important to be represented among some of these sites so that you understand that like your user actually understands where you stand within those products that they're comparing you against.
Right, and those are some really high intent consumers, right? They're like, I'm in the market for something you offer, and now I just want to understand how it stacks up against what else is available. So it sounds like that's a pretty imperative place to be.
Exactly. And you would notice when you look at like certain review sites, it's a lot of brands that are represented, and sometimes they might even be your competitors. So if you're not like next to where your competitor is at, you're kind of losing traffic to them.
Right. And tell us a little bit more about how influencers play a role in this part of the buying cycle.
Yeah, influencers do play a major role in this as well, especially within the consideration phase. Like, I don't know about you, but I watch a lot of influencers that are like trying out different products and like trying to see like showing the differences in their skin and like having 2 different products side by side and showing like, okay, this is a more expensive product, this is the cheaper product, putting the logos up on like the videos or whatever the case may be, and then showing like what the results are looking like. So you definitely want to be represented in that way as well under the consideration phase when you're working with influencers.
Yeah. And then these logos here, these are kind of like companies that allow you to connect with those influencers, right? And so you don't have to solely rely on finding that micro influencer and then reaching out to them
Exactly.
directly. Is that right?
Exactly, that's correct. So like if you're working with like a shop style or LTK or even a Mavely, like if you some of them of course are gonna ask you for flat fees because they're gonna say like their influencers are like top tier and they have like hundreds and thousands of followers. But some of them are also willing to take like a CPA increase. Just keep in mind that when you're working with influencers, they are gonna ask for top tiered CPA percentages, just so that they can continue to create more content like around your product. So just be prepared for that.
Right. And then maybe you already mentioned this, Eugenia, but I apologize if I missed it. On the review sites, what are the most common revenue models associated with those?
Yes, so it's the review sites, majority of them is gonna be CPA. Some of them are gonna want CPC and a hybrid sort of deal if you really want to be like put next to a competitor. So it really just depends on which ones that you're talking to, but I always like encourage merchants talking directly to these publishers. I love to do direct introductions and let them have the conversation from there so that you can understand the different types of offerings that they can provide you. Just because it comes off like their review site doesn't mean that they don't offer other things in terms of like social media placements or a different type of placements to get you in front of that audience.
Great. Great. All right. Going into the final stage for today, purchase.
Yes. So it's like once I have decided that I want to buy a specific product and I've compared it against all the other competitors, I'm going to see, is there like a little discount or is there a sale somewhere that I can basically take advantage of if I'm looking to buy it now? And that's when coupon, cashback, and loyalty sites really tend to come into play, is that you're offering maybe 2% off, right? But that's still something to people and customers, especially in this economy, that are looking for some sort of sale or some sort of deal that they feel like they're getting from your product. So of course, this is like a very, very low funnel opportunity. Coupon sites drive a ton of sales for like a lot of merchants. And there's different types of coupon and cashback sites that you can work with that will meet with their that will align with your brand, right? So like if you don't want to work with a specific one because you feel like it's not going to align with your brand, there's higher quality ones that you can work with that will give you the sales that you're looking for, as well as maintaining your brand equity. Now some of them, because they're high quality, they might also ask for an integration fee, or they might ask for like a different type of fee that's associated with it. But, you know, everything is always up to negotiation when you're talking to these publishers.
And what is, I guess, like, what would be the reason why you would go for a cashback site versus a coupon site? Or do you always recommend a combination of both?
I always recommend a combination, but it also depends on like the brand itself. So like some people see cashback as more of like a higher tier than they see coupon. And cashback is essentially like, okay, I rather prefer my customer making some money back versus getting a discount off of the products that I'm selling. So that also kind of works into play in terms of how you position yourself. If they don't want any cash back, you might want to consider working for a loyalty site. So like a Honey, they have a Honey Gold program in which if you're offering a certain percentage, they give it to the customer as like points that they can use to earn towards a specific reward later on versus getting a discount per item. So it's definitely a little bit of nuances to each one and how they work, but they definitely do take your program to the next level if you incorporate them into your partner mix.
That makes sense. And like you were saying earlier too, you can use these different partners for different goals you have for your own business, right? So like if you are trying to get rid of some last season inventory, maybe that's where you focus on those coupon sites, because that inventory is maybe less valuable to you because you're focused on the next wave. And that's where you can, the new inventory can go into the cashback sites or the loyalty programs. And so I guess it really depends on what your goals are for that season or quarter that you're planning for.
Exactly. You can even do it by SKU. You can have like an offer that's like free shipping. It doesn't necessarily always have to be like a percentage off. Like if you're offering free shipping, that's something that a coupon, loyalty, or cashback site can use as an offer and present it on their site. It doesn't necessarily always have to be a percentage off.
What a great trade tip.
Yeah, buy one, get one, you know, any deals that you're already going to be offering, just give it to your affiliates as well.
Yeah, that's a great one. I'm gonna have to do my own searching on some of those sites after this.
I'm
Awesome.
telling secrets out here.
Yeah, you got all the pro tips. So this is obviously, if you really kind of plan out your affiliate partnerships in each of these categories and think about all of your business goals as we discussed, that's a lot of people and programs and offers to manage. So I'll have you kick us off, Eugenia. What is really important from your perspective in a platform to help you manage all of these successfully?
Yes, of course you want a good management and tracking software to be able to understand exactly like where your how your partner types are doing based on like each stage of the funnel that you're at. You also want to provide like customized offers and unique commission tiers. Sometimes I hear a lot from the merchants that say like, oh, I don't want to like provide the same commission rate that I'm giving to one partner over the other. And like we absolutely have that ability for you to be able to tier up the commissions that you want to provide to each partner type. So if you want to give coupon or cashback or loyalty partners like 2 to 5%, but give an elevated CPA to an influencer, you can definitely do that. And that's something that's actually like a strategy that I would encourage. You can also provide customized offers, right? Like I mentioned before, if you have a free shipping offer, if you have offers that are a little bit out of the ordinary, or a sale that's coming around a certain time period, you can definitely send out email blasts over to the affiliates and have them promote that, or put it right in the creative sections in our platform in order for them to be able to pull that information easily. I don't know about you, Melissa, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, it sounds like, what's really imperative is like, it's flexibility, right? And being able to really customize your offers with all of those different goals and types and models that we discussed. And so it's really important to be able to have a platform that powers all of those considerations. And I think another thing that we talked about too, I hear a lot of brands concerned about is, that brand equity, right? So it's not only just about what partners you're working with and what that says about your brand, but also what do your links look like? Where do your links go? And maintaining that brand equity from like awareness all the way to purchase if they're purchasing on your site. And so, of course, Reversion allows for you to do all of these things here listed, but also something we really strongly believe in is that first party tracking that allows you to maintain your domain through all of your tracking links so that you elevate your brand and check out always on your site. Unless you're working with one of these other partners that you check it on their site, but if you're working with these links, it allows you to maintain that equity, which is really important.
Exactly.
And one thing I'll mention here too, when it comes to control, right? Because brand equity is a lot about control. It's not just about, Eugenia talked a lot about different partner types that you can go and recruit, but it's also great to have an opportunity to have affiliates come to you, right? And apply for your program and maintain the control of who gets into your program and who doesn't, right? And so having an application process that you can review, approve, deny is really important as you grow and more partners learn about you and your products and want to promote you. So another piece of maintaining that brand equity and control of your program.
Yeah. And one more point too, Melissa, is that affiliate's all about like testing and learning. So essentially, like when you're starting off, you may not get the results that you're looking for, but you're testing with new partner types, you're testing with new partner relationships, whichever one that's doing well for you, you want to keep, which ones that aren't working with you so well, you might want to reach out to them and figure out other ways that you can optimize. And if it doesn't still work out, you can always remove them from your program.
So true. So true. Yeah, you're not beholden. You always have that element of control. Yeah, great point. And another part of control and just like management, as you can imagine, with all of these different partner types, there's a ton of commissions to be calculated. So finding a platform that allows you to automate that work for you so you can easily and correctly calculate commissions is really important for not only knowing what's working in your program, with that tracking piece, but also being able to confidently pay out your affiliate partners so that they're happy with the work that they're doing for you and it's a strong relationship. So, one thing we hear a lot from our affiliate partners, and Eugenia, I think hears this more than anything, but having seamless bulk payments, right? So that the affiliate is receiving one payment, monthly versus 5 or 6 throughout the month. It just makes the accounting and for all of us who had to submit our taxes this month for the tax piece really easy. So automating and delivering those payments in a really seamless way will not only save you time, but also strengthen that relationship with your affiliates, which, is really fundamental to having a successful program and channel.
Exactly.
Anything else, Eugenia? I just moved forward, but anything else on that?
Oh, no, yeah, you answered that beautifully.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so I mean, there's obviously tons of opportunity out there to work with new partners. Eugenia, how do you advise that folks go about recruiting and maintaining these partnerships?
Of course, Melissa. So like the first step I would always say is to do your research. Like I would look at sites that your competitors are on that you're not on. I would look at sites that, you feel like your audience might be a fit for, like you might want to test with. You want to research like different types of affiliates and what they do, where their positioning is at, and how they can also like provide you an added value to your brand. Right. And once you have done that research and you have an examples of like some like ideal affiliates that you want to work with, we have recruitment templates available for you here at Reversion. So you can definitely reach out and say, hey, can I have a recruitment template? Like we can send it out to you as well, just to help you put your best foot forward as you're reaching out to these affiliates as well. And of course, leverage the experts, right? So I'm here managing relationships with publishers all day, every day. If you have any questions in terms of how publishers work, in terms of like what you think would be a fit, or any relationships that we have, we can definitely talk and discuss and see how we can help take your program to the next level. And of course, the last part is consistent communication. I always encourage merchants speak directly to their affiliates, especially their top performing ones, and just to understand like where you guys are in terms of performance, like how you can optimize a little bit more, communicate and understand exactly like where your traffic is coming from, or if anything was to happen, like you understand exactly where your affiliates stand, where you stand, and whether or not you need to also be looking out for new and different types of relationships.
Awesome. And I believe the recruitment templates guide is in the chat. So go ahead and download that while you have it. We'll also send it out after the session. But Eugenia, you mentioned leveraging the experts, which of course you are. What's the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
Yes. So if you're looking to get in touch with me, you can email me at eugenia@pantastic.com. If you forget for any reason, you can always email helpme@reversion.com. Say that you're looking to talk to the publisher manager over there, and we can get something set up and see if we can get you some relationships coming through.
Awesome. All right, and we're going to close out with our final poll. If you'd like to speak with a Reversion expert, you want to learn more about how Reversion can help you, or what kinds of partners we work with, go ahead and fill out this poll and we will be in touch. We will also continue to send you educational resources after this session related to this topic. Yeah, we'd love to know if you want to raise your hand already. So I'll give you a moment to fill that out. And while we're doing that, we also have a few sessions this week. So this is the first of a few live events we have available. So we have a Reversion live demo this Thursday, and it's also offered every other Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And this is for folks who maybe you're not ready to talk to a salesperson yet, but you want to learn more about Reversion. This is the perfect opportunity for you. You can use the QR code or just go right to that landing page link. And then we also have Reversion Live Q&A. So this is for folks, maybe you've already started your Reversion 14-day trial and you want to ask questions about getting set up. This is the great session for you. But basically come with your questions and get them answered during the session. All right, so I'll leave this slide here. I'm going to go ahead and look at some of the questions that we've got in, but if you haven't asked your questions already, now is the time. All right, first one. All right, we sell pet products and the value of our products are quite low, around $15. What is the best way to structure the revenue model for influencers and affiliates? Great question.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So because your value of products is low, around $15, I would recommend that you work with, well, first of all, be open to working with as many affiliates as possible. Start off with a CPA model, have conversations with the top ones that are working really well for you, and then talk to those affiliates directly to see if there's any additional optimizations that you can get from them. It's always like a trial and error as well, like I mentioned before. So you might want to explore a little bit more in terms of like relationships that you feel would be beneficial to your brand.
Great. All right, I hope that answered your questions. All right. Next one, does Reversion support cost per click? We currently pay affiliates on conversion and acquisitions.
That's a good question. I believe we can support the cost per click model. I have to double check that for you, Clay, but if you have a chance, just send me a quick email and I can definitely get back to you on that. But I would be surprised if we didn't.
Great. All right, and I think this one may have already been answered in discussion, but I'll go ahead and mention it for in case other people have this question too. But as a small brand with minimal budget, we currently use CPA for our affiliates through Reversion. What other model types would you suggest for small businesses just starting out, and how would you go about reaching those audiences?
That's a good question. So essentially, you're a small brand that doesn't have as much budget, but you're looking to also work with higher quality affiliates, and you want to go about reaching those audiences. I would suggest that you start off with CPA. You might want to like really do some research in terms of some affiliates that might make sense for you. So like, let's say you have an affiliate that is asking for 1,500, right? You might want to ask them like, what's your return on investment with that spend? And what else are you going to be able to get for that 1,500, for example? Or you can like change up your strategy where you can start working with loyalty and cashback sites first, get as much like sales in as possible, and then use the investments, basically like the money that you're making from those cashback coupon loyalty sites, to invest in content sites as well. So I know a lot of people that do that as well, where they start really low. It's just like, first, let's get the sales in. After you get the sales in, let's see what we can take out and what else we can add in terms of like higher quality partner types like content.
Right. All right, another question. We have a subscription, fast-moving consumer goods product that is sustainable hygiene paper. Does best practice say to pay per prescription cycle on first purchase only for affiliates?
That's an interesting question. And honestly, that's up to you to decide that. But I have seen some payment models that are like, okay, we'll pay for the first customer that's acquired, even though it's a subscription model. And then there's others that pay on the lifetime of the customer. So it's like, 10% for the first time you acquire a new customer that's subscribing to the product, and 2% on the lifetime of the customer, as long as they maintain a customer with us. That kind of like, it depends on how you want to use that strategy. But for like content partners or partners that are creating some sort of like web traffic for you, it might be beneficial to pay them on the lifetime, because then it encourages them to create more content around you, to create more basically more buzz around your product. So it really depends on where you want your strategy to be first.
Yeah, and you can also set up those commission structures differently, right, for those different partners. So it could be one for, one channel and one for the other, which is good to remember. That's a great point.
Yeah, so you can do like influencers for a one-time purchase and then keep the lifetime, but like for content publications or other ones that are going to live on the site forever, do a lifetime.
Right. Right. And I think this was mentioned too, but it depends also like on the price of your subscription, like what is that value, right? And how much yeah, you want to make sure you're saving in terms of profits. So yeah, lots to consider, but what a great question.
Yes, for sure. We have one more.
Yeah, we're getting fire questions. I'm so impressed. This is fun.
Good one, too.
All right, Hannah has one more question. I'm wondering how often other merchants coupon codes to affiliates. We have a big issue with our personalized codes we give to affiliates. We find typically they end up on other third-party sites that we're not affiliated with. So ultimately, the coupon code connected to their affiliate link, they're getting commission basically on other sites. So how do you do you see this often, and how do you protect yourself? If you have any tips, Eugenia.
Yes, so coupon sites definitely do that, where the codes would leak and then you'd end up finding it on other sites. Some of the biggest suggestions that I've gotten when I'm talking to other coupon sites that are like, more of like a different tier, is to give them exclusive codes. So when you give an exclusive code to them and you do it through our platform, they will only get paid out via that exclusive code. So if any other like sites was to use the same code, they would not get paid out on that exclusive code. So definitely reach out to me and let's talk more about like different ways that maybe if you do want to give out a code, you can go about it, and we can figure out some alternative solutions as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And also it seems like what might happen is like the code goes to the influencer and the influencer is passing it to other sites. And so they're kind of juking their stats. So yeah, I think it's a great question, Hannah, and feel free to reach out to have a direct convo for some strategies. All right. Yeah, yeah. She said, awesome. Thanks so much. We'll reach out. Great. Cool. Any other questions? Give everyone another minute or so. I really appreciate uh, everyone's contribution.
Yeah, and one other thing I would say if you are doing codes too is that you might want to offer them to a closed user group versus like a larger coupon sites. Like for example, we have publishers that are like employee discounts or employee perks where like they have to be verified as an employee of a company to take part in that like exclusive discount. Or for doctors, nurses, we have like publishers that will verify like that they are who they are, and then you can provide them an exclusive code instead. And if your product aligns with like students or anything like that, you know, we do work with like Unidays, which is now known as like Pion, where if you give them an exclusive code, you know, is only going to be sent out and verified by students.
Awesome. Hot with the pro tips, I gotta say. I learned a ton from you, Eugenia, going through this session with you. It was great. And if anyone has any more questions, feel free to email us at helpme@reversion.com. And you'll be hearing from us within the next 24 hours with the recording and some links to some of the other sessions we have this week and the recruiting templates. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we really appreciate it and hope to hear from you soon.
Perfect. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, have a good one.